I headed over to my local dollar store and I found 3 medium drawer organizers and 3 5x7 frames that fit perfectly over the boxes. First, take the frames out of their packaging and remove the glass and backing. Cut out your scrapbook paper to cover the back of the drawer organizer, so you'll need to measure it and cut it out perfectly. Once you know it fits, properly glue the paper on with a glue stick. Now we will paint the frames. If your frames have a finish on them, give them a light sand. The green I'm using is pistachio green. Paint one side and set to dry, then paint the other side. The green I chose was a little too bright green, so I did a whitewash over it to tone it down a bit. The whitewash is achieved by mixing white acrylic paint with a bit of water and painting over top so that the underneath color shows through. Once dry, you can attach the frame to the box with hot glue and leave it until it's also fully dried and adhered. I wanted to spice these shelves up a bit, so I added on some small stems of faux purple flowers and a white rose in the corners of the 2 upright shelves. When it comes to hanging, my desk organizers had an indent on the back, so I could just hang them on nails. Look how lovely they turned out. They're going to look so good with all my spring decor. So next up, hang them in your favorite place, fill them with your own precious items, and enjoy.
The next time you're at Dollar Tree, grab yourself some of their succulent picks in a variety of different colors and styles that you like, and then you're also going to want to grab some of their foam pool noodles, but make sure you grab the green ones. So I have this vintage oil painting here. This one I actually was hanging on to. It was my grandmother's. So I'm taking out the oil painting as well, removing the matte border around the frame. I decided I wanted to paint my frame. I want it to be full gold, so I'm going to use some of this DecoArt metallic paint, and I'm just going to do a quick coat over top of the frame. So once my paint was on and it fully dried and set, I could come in with my frame and my pool noodles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the frame over. I'm going to use the pool noodle as a measuring guide, and then I'm going to cut it exactly so it fits in the little ledge of the frame. So I do this really easily with an X-Acto knife, and then I'm going to cut the pool noodle directly in half. With my half a pool noodle, I'm going to take these pieces and I'm going to continue to cut them till I have enough to fill the frame. So once I have enough here, I'm going to take some E6000 and I'm going to glue just the edges of the frame and the edges of the pool noodle, and I'm going to place the pool noodle into the frame, but making sure that the curved side is going to be facing out. So I'm working backwards here, so you can see I have the cut side and I'm placing it down into the ledge of the frame. So I'm going to continue doing this until I've glued in all the pieces of my pool noodle and the entire frame has been filled. Now you do want to let this set for a good 6 hours if you can, just to let the glue set and let the pool noodles really settle in there. Then once it's fully set, I'm going to come in here and create my own little backing. So I have this just rough piece of wood left over from another project. It's like a thin MDF paneling. And I'm going to glue that on with hot glue and a mixture of E6000. And I'm just going to press it onto the pool noodles there, giving a little bit of pressure and holding it down till the hot glue is set. Then I'm going to go ahead and flip it over, make sure I like the placement of my pool noodles. I can fix them up and adjust them if need be. And then just to make the back a little prettier, I have this green fabric that I'm just going to lay over top. And then I'm going to take a stapler and I'm going to staple it around just so the back is closed in. So I'm going to be turning this into like a live art piece. So I'm going to start with some moss. So I have some reindeer moss here, and you want to make sure that you have lots of different styles of moss to give this some different texture. So I have reindeer moss, I have some Spanish moss, lots of different types of moss to give me all those varying different colors of green and brown. So I'm going to work along gluing them onto the pool noodles, and you want to make sure that you shove them down in between the pool noodles. Once I have filled in the entire frame, I'm going to come in with the succulent picks that I picked up from the dollar store, trim them down, add a bit of hot glue to the edge, and then I'm going to work them in between the pool noodles. So the stem of the succulent just sits right in between those pool noodles, and it just kind of grabs it and holds them in there. I'm going to add as many succulents as I like till I get the desired look. And here is this finished project. I am so happy with how this project turned out. It's like an earthy, elegant piece of decor that I can hang in my home, and it didn't cost me a lot to make this project. I really hope that this inspires you to get creative and grab some succulents from the Dollar Tree and see what you can come up with this project.
Pick up a thrift store frame and remove the backing of the frame. If your frame does not already have one, find a white mat that will fit the frame size and insert it into the back of the frame. Now, hang the frame and mat on a wall. Find a small glass jar or vase. Take 2 command strips, remove 1 cover strip, and attach the sticky side vertically to the side of your jar. Remove the other outer cover slip and stick the jar to the wall. You now have a 3D interactive wall art piece. Hang it in an office or craft room, or hang in a handy place in a bathroom and store makeup brushes in the glass jar. Fill the glass vase with water and fill it with cuttings from other plants. You will love the touch of greenery and watching the roots grow through the glass. Pick up some fall flowers from the grocery store and trim the stems to size. Display the flowers in the glass vase with varying heights, colors, and texture. I hope this inspired you to take a thrift store frame and turn it into a 3D work of art with a glass jar and your imagination.
The next time you're at Dollar Tree, make sure you head to their frame section and grab some of these gold frames. And I'm going to begin by removing the backing and then taking out the matte border as well as the cardboard, so I have just the glass and the frame. I'm then going to come in with some wire cutters and I'm going to pull out the black tabs that keep the backing on and remove those as well. Then I'm going to take out the glass and I'm going to come with some E6000 and I'm going to glue the glass inside the frame. So I just go all around the frame with the glue and then I place the glass back inside to glue it in place. Once I've done all my frames, I'm then going to come and take 8 of the frames and I'm going to glue 2 of them together. So 8 frames total, glued 2 together. And I do this by using the same E6000, making sure I flip it over and wipe away any excess glue that oozes out in between. And then I'm going to clamp them together and I'm going to let this set overnight. I was noticing when I placed the clamps on the frames to clamp the 2 together, they did kind of raise up and bow up at the corners there, so I just placed some heavier objects on top to keep them flat and straight while they were setting. I came back the next day, removed all my heavy objects that I placed on top, and then as well removed the clamps from all the frames, and these frames are really solid glued together here. Then I'm going to take the remaining 2 frames that are not glued to any other frames and I'm going to lay them out here on how I'm going to glue this together. So I'm going to glue all the sides and then I'm going to just raise them up here and build a rectangular shape. So 2 frames on each end and then the 2 that are glued together for the sides. Again, after I've done this, it is standing, so we don't need to clamp it, but I am going to let this set overnight again, making sure that the glue is really solid. Once it's set, you can see here I can move it around. It is completely solid. It does not move. It's not flimsy. And then I'm just going to come in and finish it up with a nice A-frame top with my remaining 4 frames. And then I'm going to just connect them together into an A-frame shape and letting that set as well overnight. Then, when I am finished, here is my project. It is a beautiful terrarium that I can use to place my potted plants, and I like the sides open on the A-frame part so that I can just stick my sprayer in there and water my plants as need be. This is a decorative little elegant house for me to store my houseplants, and now I have one of those gorgeous A-frame terrariums that you see at high-end decor stores that I made for as little as under $10 and the cost of some glue. I really hope that you enjoyed this project. Thank you so much for tuning into Home Talk, and we'll see you on another video.